This is a follow-up video to my previous video about my experience with the AV Pro SD cards from Angelbird. I originally bought two 128 gig cards, out of which one failed. I sent it back to Angelbird and they sent me two replacement cards. So these are the two new ones. The different backing, that's say for GH5 and GH5S. Here you go. So these are the cards, two replacement cards, and this is the original card, which here it doesn't have any of that text at the back. So let's just test these cards and see. I've been having problems with two of these three cards. The older one, the problem is these are not consistent problems. It happens and it's difficult to replicate, but let's try it. So this is the original card of the, from the first batch that I had bought myself, and this is the 400 megabit codec, and let's see if it works fine. These are the two cards. So this is the All-I 25p 400 megabit codec. Let's record for 30 seconds. It seems fine. Let's stop that and shift to an 8-bit codec, 100 megabit codec. Let's hit record and see what happens. So typically, if there is a problem, it happens usually within the first 30 seconds, and typically. So let's see how that goes. Cool. Let's pass the 30-second test. Let's stop that. Get that card out, and let's try the new batch. Yeah, so we shift back to the 400 megabit codec and hit record. Also do the 30-second test. The 400 megabit seems to be working fine. Stop recording. Shift it to the 100 megabit codec. About 30 seconds. Yeah, 30 seconds is fine. So I think this might be the card that works. I think this is going to be my problem card from the second batch. Let's see if you can replicate the issue. So this is again at the 108-bit. There you go. 8-bit. So what happens is the camera freezes, and I've lost clips sometimes. this has happened once during an interview, but thankfully I didn't lose that clip. There you go again. So this is from the new batch. That consistently fails, and the remaining one from the older batch intermittently fails. So this card is basically useless. So from this second batch, the replacement cards, this one card works, and this card works sometimes. I'm not confident enough it'll work all the time. It works sometimes, it doesn't. So this is the working card from the new batch. This is the one that doesn't work from the new batch. And let's keep a watch on this card. It's the original. So there, 30 seconds. It's working fine. We shift it to the 100 megabit codec and I just stopped recording. Record, yeah. So there, we start recording. This 100 megabit codec. This is the funky card. Seems to be working now. But I've had issues with this card in the past. It's tough to replicate. So that's another issue. It's inconsistent. So I'm literally left just with one card now. Because I usually keep this card in the second slot of my camera in case I have spillover and I don't have time to copy out the first card. But as soon as I shift to the second card, I get uneasy, and and it's failed a few times. Let's just run it and see if that happens again. And as I do documentary work, and it's out in the field, like real stuff, not in a studio, testing bit rates in an air-conditioned room. This is like real field work, and in the field I've found a reliability of like 1 out of 4 cards, which is why I think recently I picked up a Ninja V, and I made it a point to pick up a Sony mini SSD and not a Angelbird, because I don't know, I'm sure they're fine, the cards, but I don't know. It's I don't know. It's not something that I'm comfortable with. I don't know. I guess it's unfair because of my experience with the SD cards to prejudge, their mini SSDs, but I don't know. Let's hope the Sony works. This seems to be working fine now, but it has issues sometimes. Maybe let's try the 400 megabit codec. It seems to be working now. Let's just run. So that's my experience, guys. I've been doing some testing at home, and I have a few more clips of these cards failing, so I guess I'll just add them on after this. Check them out. Let me know what you think. It's been almost a couple of minutes and I'm shooting not even 10-bit, this is 8-bit, and this has happened a couple of times now. It's been 2 minutes since I've stopped the recording, but it's still writing into the card, or the card is not responding to the camera. I'm not sure what the problem is, but this keeps happening. Not consistently, but it's a problem on shoots when you're live on location. I do a lot of documentaries, so if the camera hangs like this because of the card, it is a problem. And these cards don't give me the confidence. What do you expect from a card that says it's a professional card? Shouldn't give you these kinds of problems, and I've consistently been having these problems with the Angelbird cards, especially when I'm doing 8-bit and slow motion and those kinds of things is when these issues arise. Strangely, when I'm doing higher bit rates and 10-bit, I don't encounter these problems. When I'm doing lower bit rates, this seems to be the problem. So I've shot a 1 minute short, and well, it's still writing to the card. I don't know what it's writing, but it is writing. So let's see how long this takes. Still writing. Nothing on the camera works, no functions work, nothing works. I can't even play back, nothing, till this thing stops. Yeah. This video is 2.5 minutes now. This problem, it's been trying to write to the card for at least 4 minutes now. Still writing. 5 minutes. What should we do? Let me just try and switch off the camera, see if it I can't even shut down the camera. Try that again. Let's try and shut it down. Here it says now writing, please wait. So I just turn it back on and then it's still writing. So I have no idea. It's like frozen my camera. And I need to check which card this is. How do I get out of this? It's like frozen my camera up. Still writing. And this is the second time this is happening. I had initially bought 2 Angelbird cards. One of them gave up. I had similar problems. I had issues with the speed of the card. And I wrote to Angelbird and they sent me a couple of replacement cards. But I've sporadically had issues with those cards as well, where suddenly it will give you the error that says, recording stopped because of limitations of writing speed of the card. Although it's not consistent, it happens once in a while, especially when I'm in the field and, I can't take time out from my shoots to sit and document all these things. But, I mean, it's a problem. It's definitely a problem. It happens once in a while, but when it does happen, it's quite a problem. Like, I have stuff like this where my cameras, so I have all the latest firmware, and I keep formatting the cards after every dump, but I don't know. Okay, now writing. It doesn't let me exit. So what I'm going to do now is let me just switch off the gimbal. Let me just get the camera out. I think the only way to sort this problem out is to just take out the battery. Now this is going to be a problem doing it single-handed. Let's try. Let's just take that nut out, loosen it, and let's get the camera out of the gimbal. There you go. Camera's off the gimbal, and it is still writing to card 2. I can't even switch off the camera because I'm going to do the only thing I can right now, which is remove the battery. Just see. And just for the record, it's still recording. It's not letting me shut down the camera. Just remove the battery. Let me remove the other card as well, card 1. Oh, there's actually no card 1, so that's fine. This is just card 2. Let me just check which card this is. So this is the original card that I had initially bought, which has this number 1 on it. So this is the first batch of cards. There you go. That's the only card let me share. This is a field test at 4K, 400 megabit. Predict at 8 seconds when it will fail. This is at 400 megabit. Freezes for a long time. And then let's just shift it to an 8-bit profile, which is 100 megabit. Let's see if this works. Hit record, and then let's see. Seems to be working at the 100 megabit rate, but there you go. Even at 100 megabit in a few seconds, maybe a minute or so, it quits. So, test. this keeps happening. Especially this is in 8-bit. This is not even the full data rate of the 10-bit all-I. This keeps happening at 8-bit in slow motion. And it takes 5 minutes for it to stop, and then you can start using the camera again. So let me just cut the video now and try again. There you go, it's happening again. This is immediately after the last hang. This keeps happening, and these are the second batch of cards from Angelbird.